Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show, episode 292, Extreme Hardcore! I am your host, MatrixLow212 again, and here is AmberStreet.com, AmberStreet.com, Chris Ferner. What is up, Chris?
Turn your volume up, Chris.
Yeah, fix your microphone because I can't hear you. Turn it up.
Okay, hold on. Let me... Is that better?
Is that better?
Talk into the mic now.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, you come in better when you're closer to your microphone than when you're away from it. That's what
I just want to say.
I know what the problem is. In system preferences and OS X, I had the ambient noise filter turned on, and that's
right.
good for some things, but I need to disable that. Bear with me. I forgot about that.
All right. Lieutenant Rex lives.
Are you all right? We're live, by the way. Are we good? Yeah? Okay. What's up, Connor Farley?
Hello, I'm here finally after 2 days.
You're Heather.
Presence.
You're Heather. All right. What's up, John?
Not much. PulsingCinema.com.
What's up, Mike D?
Hello.
ParadisesLife.com. ParadisesLife.com.
Yeah.
ParadisesLife.com.
Pushback.com.
Okay, I want to talk.
Can you guys hear me better now? I turned off ambient noise filter.
Yes. Yes, we did.
If you would, when you talk, though, stay close to the mic, Chris, because you're a lot more intelligible here.
Yes. I want to say, how dare those son of a bitches really attack our buddy Chris Ferner at the Whovians podcast and that every little other thing show, the anything show, those sons of bitches, all right? Just want to let you know. That I don't know, like they must have picked on him or something. But that's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Was my best friend Mr. Aston involved?
I hate the Matrix Law. Okay. Well, anyway, I do want to say, we're glad to have you back, Chris. We're talking a big discussion about homeless and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think that the message got a little bit skewed from this tangent, creating an alternate way of thinking amongst our viewers, okay?
Okay.
In no way, shape, or form, okay, is caring about someone supposed to be interpreted as hating or hurting someone, okay? If I'm going to make any steps, like I said, to try to help you in getting a job or financially or whatever, that does not mean I'm trying to hurt you, okay? And if you don't love your friends, if you don't love your friends, okay, which you're a friend, you've been on here, all right? I care about your well-being, okay? I don't have to agree with certain things you do, and just because I'm loud and I yell, it's because I care, not because I want you to be on a bench or whatever, okay? So that is so all the people out there that want to like make some accusations that I'm against the homeless and I'm against this, they don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Now, I don't really promote my books, and this is not a promotion of lossofways.com. Well, it was lossofways.com. But I want to say the first poem ever on here, okay, is titled Homeless, okay? And all these poems are from the heart, and they have meaning to me with certain things. I donate a lot of time and effort. I donated all the proceeds of my third book for Making Strides for Breast Cancer and the American Lung Association. I donate to the homeless, the ALS, that disease. I'm always donating, just like my family, whenever I can, okay? Some things really I feel strongly about. Even Sharon could tell you, if I'm in the seat and I see somebody that's homeless and they're hungry, I spent like $30 one time, and I gave them a whole friggin' meal like you wouldn't believe. I even asked them if they wanted to code anything, okay? That's how I feel, okay? And I feel very passionate and strong about the homeless category, all that stuff. So when I have people commenting on my channel like they know what the hell they're talking about, no, I just want to clarify, okay? No way, shape, or form am I a scum. No way, shape, or form do I put down anybody, okay? And if I didn't give a shit about you, you wouldn't be on here, okay? So that's why I said, tell me what kind of job you have. And if I know nobody any in that field, I will try to get you a job if I can reach someone from that district, okay? I don't have to, okay? So that's the whole point. Like, I'm not your father. I'm not, like, ridiculing you. I'm trying to tell you, listen, I'm trying to tell you, as a friend, you need to make different decisions. You need to make different choices. Maybe you should look into jobs that you ordinarily wouldn't do. There's nothing wrong with me making suggestions.
I applied for In-N-Out Burger, but unfortunately In-N-Out Burger does background checks, and I think because of my bad credit is the reason why they declined me for the position.
What about an overnight position?
What do you mean overnight? Define.
Well, basically, if you work overnight, you have nighttime differential, which means you get paid more than if somebody was working in the day. Okay? And when the store is closed, wait, when the store is closed, they don't care if you wear a steampunk thing or not. You can wear that shit the whole time you're in there. You're unloading trucks, you're stocking the shelves. Nobody's going to give a crap that you're wearing that whole thing there. But when you go for the interview, what? What?
I do have a disability. I do have a bad knee. I have a bad knee.
He said fair enough was what he said.
Oh, okay.
If you didn't hear it, okay.
You have a disability, you said?
I have a bad knee. I walk with a cane. I fell down an escalator many years ago, and I have arthritis in my right knee.
Okay.
So it's hard for me to do anything with heavy loading. I did try with 7-Eleven, but the 7-Eleven's here not hiring.
Okay, why don't you see if you could change your microphone back to the way it was, because you're more muffled now.
Okay.
You're more muffled now than you were. Okay, so you can't have. Oh, so now that you clarified it for me, because I didn't know you were with the cane. Okay, so that changes things. So you can't do a job that you're constantly on your feet. You can't lift anything because you have the cane. So why don't you do something where you're in an office and you're doing something on the computer? At least you could be a telemarketer that nobody sees you, and you could offer like cable or something like that, or is there something like that you could do maybe?
Yeah, but where? That's the question. I
don't have a map of where you're at. I don't know any nearest things, but I'm sure that.
Let me be real here. The problem is that like I said, in that rant, which I'm continuing to watch, in the last 3 years, the only job interview I got was for a non-paid internship. It was because I didn't fully read the description, because I was spam emailing so many listings so I could get the number of resumes emailed out that I was only doing a brief reading of each description, and it was for a non-paid internship. And I didn't get the job anyway, but it was for a YouTube channel that had less subscribers than I did. It was like, why would I work for you for free? What didn't that do?
Well, that's the thing. You need a job that you're going to make money. Now, of course, you got to start from the bottom up. Okay.
Well, yeah, done that many times. Start from the bottom up. Usually, most jobs don't have upward mobility anyway. You start.
Okay. What about a comic book shop?
Well, I've tried. There's no place that I can find that's hiring. Well,
let me ask you a question. I mean, why don't you? Here's the thing. If they're not hiring, the one key thing that I found that got me jobs was that I was persistent. Okay, I kept calling and calling. If I wanted a job, I kept calling and calling so they remembered me. They knew who the hell I was with. I pissed them off so much. They're like, damn, that fucking Joe keeps calling every week, looking for that job.
What about staffing and temp agencies?
I've got a lot of false leads. There's a lot of scammers in Hollywood. There's a lot of people who are pretending to be other people. Like, I met a lady who claimed to be a movie producer and said she was going to hook me up with her connections, and then I find out she was just a compulsive liar. I did work. I actually filed a report with the FBI because they pissed me off so much. iLookUSA.com, which is a digital magazine online, hired me as a photographer, and I did a whole freaking week's worth of work for nothing. They decided that they weren't going to pay me, and so
when you say that no one's hiring, is it just the places you're looking that you're interested in working art, or are you going after who actually is hiring?
I'm going after where.
Are you just being selective about?
Because In-N-Out Burger said they were hiring. I'm as straightforward as I am. People don't realize that if you do the math, there are more people than there are jobs.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. Here's what we apply
for. There's 100 people. Plus, I've spent most of my life self-employed. I have large gaps in my employment.
Okay. This is what we're going to do. Okay, this is what we're going to do. After Monday, okay, Monday I have to. Is the funeral for my aunts. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So after Monday, I bury my aunts. I have to go and do that whole thing in Long Island. Actually, after that, Tuesday, okay, starting Tuesday, me and Mike D and the gang will get a whole map of where you're at around your area. Okay, and I will find out all the neighboring places within your so many mile radius that you can get to, okay? And I will get phone numbers.
Yeah.
I will get phone numbers. I will get listings, and we'll comprise a whole list for you on Tuesday, Wednesday night, right? Of different jobs, and we'll go over which. This is what we're actually going to do. This actually, we're actually going to do this. We're going to go over. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We're actually going to do this. We're going to go over with you every job, okay? And I'm going to make sure we get a lot of them, okay? And then if you decide you want 10 out of the 50,
hey, Bill,
then we're going to take it another step forward, and we're going to see what hours are available, what's the pay, are they hiring? That's what we're going to do. Even if they're not hiring, we're just going to find out.
Even if I had a low-wage job, I'd still be homeless.
I understand, one step at a time. Yeah. One step at a time. Okay.
You have to make 3 times. People don't realize.
I understand. Listen.
You have to make 3 times the income of what you're paying in rent.
Like Han Solo said, never tell me the odds.
Excuse me a second. Excuse me a second. I see from where both of you are coming. And Joe's right. You do have to start from somewhere. But let's go with the fact that it's not going to make you not homeless right away, because that's true. Would you rather be homeless with no money or homeless with money?
Right. You want some money. Okay. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Listen. What the problem is with you're thinking way ahead in the future, like, where's my mansion? Or where's my this? No. Listen. Let's get you some money, then get you more money, then get you more money, okay? Until you have enough money to get your own place, okay? And then you're independent, all right? And this is going to be a project of mine. I'm going to undertake this.
I don't think I'll ever be able to rent my own place ever again, because I have over $40,000 in delinquent student loans with
forget about that. Forget about the loans. Forget about that.
That will always give me a bad FICO score.
Forget about. We're not talking about the credit.
That's just the way it is.
Forget about the credit.
The corporation is a really evil entity because they have the power to deny you jobs.
Yeah. They're like the Empire. They're like Darth Vader. They're evil.
The whole world is evil, according to Chris.
Oh, not the whole world.
It's a conspiracy. They're all having it against Chris. The world's against.
A lot of people are not even aware that FICO Corporation is a corporation. They think it's a government regulatory agency. It's not. It's
Illuminati. Confirmed.
A private for-profit corporation that has a lot of control over everybody's life.
Okay, well, why don't we just forget about that?
They had done shit to my life.
I've been homeless for years. Let me give you an example. When I first sold my house and moved to the LA area in 2012.
I never had a house, so just
it was a rundown house I couldn't afford to maintain. I needed a new septic tank system and a new roof. I couldn't afford it.
Well, see, you're already better than me. You actually had a house that you could actually sell. I never had a house, but that's fair. That's fair.
Fair enough. And the money lasted 2 years. But the thing was, I was technically homeless when I first came to LA because I tried to rent an apartment in North Hollywood, and even though I had the bank statements to prove I had enough money to prepay the lease a year in advance, good old FICO Corporation didn't want me
Well,
to.
I'm kind of curious, Joe. You're making a comparison there. Like, you also didn't plan elaborate trips to Australia for a couple of weeks and flying to Canada and doing all these other elaborate trips, did you?
No, I just bought comic books. Really, I mean, no.
But so
No, I didn't. No,
because you were responsible with your money, right?
Well, I mean, it would be nice to go on vacation, but no, I did not go on vacation. The only time I ever went away when I had responsibilities was when I was on a business trip with EB Games or GameStop, where they shipped us to Vegas or Florida for one of those video game conventions, which, we were reimbursed and everything. So I didn't have to pay anything myself. So I haven't been on vacation in like many, many decades. So I just couldn't. It couldn't be done. I couldn't afford it. So
the way I look at it, life is short. I know what Michael's referring to. The way I look at it, life is short. Your life is going to be over before you know it. Even Steve Jobs.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You don't want to be morbid, okay? Because when you're morbid, you're not motivated. Morbid means you're not motivated.
Well, it's just I say strike while the iron's hot. If you have the opportunity to take a trip to Australia, why not?
Nah, yeah. Here's the thing. If you get yourself established,
I've been established as long as I've been in existence. If
you get yourself established, you can take many trips to Australia, but why don't you get established first?
Ever.
You got
to do it now.
Be asked to look for a job. Let's just face it. Let's face facts.
I mean, I
can't
email so many job listings. I mean, I tried to, because I can't do a lot of hard physical labor because of my bad knee. I tried applying for computer tech jobs, production jobs, graphic designer jobs, more jobs than I can count. But I never hear anything back. The only two things I heard back from, well, actually I should say three, was I had the photography job with I Look USA magazine. I put in over 16 hours worth of work and dipping with the boss in Michigan, because it was the boss lady was based in Michigan.
Weren't you working?
Basically upload all my photos, and I had to go through all this crap and sign a contract, and she didn't even pay me. And then she was like,
"Okay, why don't we stick with?"
Well, I had a question I was going to ask. Like you had, I guess, I've known you for years, obviously, Chris. So, but I mean, like when you were living in your hometown before you moved out there, didn't you have like quite a long time where you've worked at like a call center or something, and you quit?
I worked for 6 months, and I quit before getting fired. I was on the verge of getting fired because I had bad stats.
Okay.
You said you worked there for a couple of months.
It wasn't anything misbehavioral. It was just, I did tech support for AT&T, working for.
Hey, Chris, for future reference, never quit before you're fired, because if you quit, you just wiped yourself out of eligibility for unemployment.
Absolutely.
Always let them fire you.
Yes.
I figured it was better just to quit.
I understand that, and it's a mistake that a lot of people make, and I've made myself in the past. Always let them fire you.
The problem with working for AT&T, that was one secret I was never allowed to tell customers, was technically I wasn't working for AT&T. I was working for a company called West Incorporated, which does tech support for Comcast and AT&T. I was in the AT&T division. I was a Tier 1 tech doing prepaid Go phone support. This was in 2010. And you have one lady, like I had one, all it takes is one random person to screw up your stats, and you have bad weekly stats, then you get bad monthly stats, then you get double write-ups, then you're just one write-up from getting fired. It really sucked working there because of all that crap, all the bureaucratic corporate crap. That
you know what we're going to do? We're going to talk about this off air. Okay.
Oh, fair enough. That's another whole.
You know what? Yeah, you know what? Like sometimes I forget we're live. So you and I and Mike D and Connor and everybody, we'll get together. We will do everything we can to help you. And then if there's results or not results, we'll still come on here and give an update. But
I'd be kind of curious to hear. We've heard of all these.
I'm glad to give advice, but for actual what you guys are doing with giving him information that he can use, I'll stay out of that because
that's fine.
I have no valuable input that I can.
No, but listen, just give him advice. That's fine. Every little bit helps. So,
Well, we've heard about like everything that's been out there, like opposing Chris his whole life, and like the world's against him.
Oh
in
yeah,
this,
I,
in this pseudo-conspiratorial way. I'm curious. Well, hold on. Let me finish what I'm saying, though. I'm curious to hear from Chris what he's done that he could have made better decisions about. Is there anything that you could have done? Anything off the top of your head that any mistakes you made? Because we've all made mistakes in our life. Is there anything
yeah.
that you could have?
I feel like a lot of it is genetic. You know, like schizophrenia.
No, I'm talking about things you can help, Chris. I'm not talking about playing the blame game and just blaming everything but you. I'm saying, what have you done to help
I'm
contribute?
just trying to state it in the way I see it. It's not about blaming, you know, doing politics of blaming.
Chris,
You don't think you made a bad decision every
blame
time?
on one dude or man. I'm trying to call it like I see it.
You're refusing to answer the question because you feel that we're belittling you, but we're not. We really aren't.
I'm just asking you. I'm saying, that's why I said all of us.
I guess
That's why I said all of us have made a bad decision or two in their life. I'm just wanting to know.
What I could have done better in life is not trust my parents at all with my grandfather's estate.
Well, that's blaming them again. I'm saying about you. I'm saying what about you can you have done differently? I'm not talking about your mom or dad or FICA or fucking Steve Jobs or any of these other bullshit we hear about. I'm saying what.
Not trust.
Yeah, I mean, if you had to redo this scenario, what would you have done differently yourself? Like.
I can't hear him.
Yeah, you're kind of frozen up for a second there. Let's see if it catches up.
That's me trusting somebody.
Hey, Chris, drop out and come back in because I think your connection's a little bit screwy. Just drop out and come right back in, okay? There you go.
I think he has trust issues. He has trust issues.
I think you just got to.
He just can't be bothered to look for a job. I don't know why we should even, lend a hand of help.
Because that's what we have to do. We have to help people.
Well, I asked him, I mean, you saw for yourself. I'm like, what could you have done? And he's like, well, it's all about everybody else. It's
we
like,
can't help him.
You can help people to a point, but at least you tried. That's the whole point. If you don't try, and then something happens, you'll feel morally guilty that you didn't make an attempt. And we can give advice.
Offered to help.
Yes.
I just want to make a point that anybody can become homeless. Anybody is one paycheck away.
Of course.
You don't have to be a drug addict or an alcoholic. I'm not a drug addict. I'm an alcoholic.
Well, somebody that happened to have like a medical crisis in their family that bankrupted them. I mean, there's certain circumstances, but somebody making irresponsible choices. Like, those people that are out on the street aren't out there because they decided to go to Australia for 2 weeks when they had other responsibilities to take care of. The money could have went to it.
You're taking it out of
Hypothetically.
context. Hypothetically, yeah, I know you've got a gripe against me about going to Australia, but that was back in 2011 when I still
I like
20.
Australia.
And even if I didn't go to Australia, I always wanted to go to Australia. Even if I didn't go to Australia in 2011, we're talking almost 4 years ago.
I thought you told me that you went there after you got that large payment.
Money, I spent my money wisely. It lasted 2 years. I just didn't find it.
Did you take any elaborate trips knowing that you had this money that you needed to probably sit on and make some good decisions with? Did you? Because the Australia thing, I could have sworn you told me happened after you sold the house and moved. So maybe I was incorrect about that.
But the Australia trip was very little percentage of the money that I spent. The money lasted about 2 years from selling. So
I was correct. That was after that large amount of money went to Australia.
But it's irrelevant though, because it wouldn't have made
it's
a difference.
Irrelevant.
I would not have gone to Australia and still be in the same
4 years time. In 4 years time, that money could have lasted you quite a while, like with going to school. And I mean, it just seems like better thought could have been put into it.
Been a good. Been to school. Been to college.
Oh, okay. I think
to school for too. I mean, if I went to school to learn some art appreciation or something, I mean, come on. I mean, do something practical that's like in demand to make some money to fall back on.
I think with the topic of this cast, I think we need to shift the direction away from Chris because he's feeling kind of like bombarded by all of us, and that's not the intention. So we could talk to him off air about it and try to help as much as we can, and he'll probably respect that, right, Chris? I mean,
Sure,
you don't want to
sure.
be, you don't want to be bothered with that stuff. All right.
Well, I don't know. It's full out war, from what his video said.
Well, it's not
Well,
about all out.
what video is that actually?
It's a metaphor. I'm a street warrior artist of the streets.
Street
that's
warrior.
it.
It's like
I'm
God
a
warrior.
street warrior, and I'm a street
I feel safer already.
warrior. I'm a street guerrilla warrior in the way that Che Guevara.
Oh shit!
Okay.
It's like Che.
Was a
He's
guerrilla
comparing
warrior.
himself to Che Guevara now.
I survived, and I love.
Che Guevara, the mass
I will survive. Hey, hey. I will
What?
survive.
Oh.
Alright.
Okay.
Dude, we know you're a survivor because obviously you're in front of us. Okay. Does he hear me? Hello.
Yeah.
He's frozen.
He'll drop out in a second.
All right.
What does Hatshepsut think of that?
Yeah. What does she think?
Yeah, what do you think,
Can you hear
What do
Hatshepsut?
me?
you think?
Yes.
Yes, we can. AmberStreet.com.
I have unreliable hotel.
Yeah. What part of town are you in?
Meat spin.
Who, me? I'm
Yeah.
I'm in Hawthorne.
Hawthorne. All right.
Hotels are a little bit cheaper here than they are downtown LA. But this is the last night I'll be here at this hotel.
Where you going next?
Back to LAX. I don't actually live at LAX. I just sleep there. It's a good place to sleep because if you sleep in the
Where's all your
park,
stuff,
all
actually?
the people messing with you. What?
Where's all your stuff?
I have a storage unit.
Oh. Okay. That's pretty cool.
I'd be
So,
living in
like-
a storage unit.
But what do you do? What do you do throughout the day? Like, do you walk around? Do you apply for jobs?
I stay on the move, as most homeless people should do, because it's very dangerous being homeless. You have to stay on the move like a guerrilla warrior. You can't stay in one place because then people mess with you. They scoff at you. They look down at you. Weird cultish church groups will wake you up while you're sleeping in Nick Arthur Park and say, we'll offer you a bed to sleep on. You can't have any contact with the outside world for 30 days. And I'm like, what? I'm like, no,
Wait.
that's good.
That's what you said
That
the
was
other
the-
day. The church group.
Well, they said,
So
hey,
why don't you go with the church?
join our church group and you can have a bed to sleep in, but you can't have a cell phone and you can't have contact with the outside world for 30 days.
This sounds like the beginning of
I
Hostel
need
or
myself.
something, one of these horror films.
Yeah, basically. But maybe you might work out, actually, in this case.
Well, to me, that's a big, I'm an atheist and I'm not religious anyway, but it's a big red flag when they say that you're not allowed communication with the outside world for 30 days. And I tell them that I'm non-religious and that I'm an atheist, and they immediately compare that to being a Satanist, which is a typical Christian
Well, that's
misunderstanding.
just ignorance and stupidity.
Right.
You have to be careful with some of those religious groups as they try to prey on vulnerable people and brainwash them.
Hmm.
I don't want to be
Okay.
involved in that.
No.
That's how they recruit.
If they had said, hey, you can sleep in a bed and basically, you could keep your cell phone and you can have communication with the outside world, then yeah, I would do it.
That's the way it should be, actually. When you're helping someone from the church, they shouldn't be like have restrictions like that. If they really wanted to help, they'd be like, here's a bed, here's the whatever. That's it. Like,
That to me is just a big red flag. It's like, why do they want me to have a communication blackout?
I don't know because I don't represent that type of church.
No, I
It's pretty
understand.
obvious. It's
My
hard to
dad-
indoctrinate and brainwash people if they have connection to the outside world. One of the first things cults do is isolate the individual from their family and the outside contact with the outside world, and what they do is they recreate that person's reality, formulate new relationships within the cult itself. It's a classic cult psychology thing. I mean, it's like Waco. All these cults do that shit, and they brainwash people. It's just classic tactics.
Right.
They're assholes. Fuck them.
Okay.
But yeah, no, what I did, yeah, you just have to stay on the move. You know, take the train. I usually go to wherever I could find a free Wi-Fi spot and just stay on the move. The problem with my storage unit is it closes at 6 p.m., so I can't access my stuff.
Well, let me ask you a question. How do you eat if you don't work?
Oh, EBT.
EBT. That's
Yeah.
the food stamps thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, man.
But yeah, I mean, EBT works just like a credit card, except you can only use it for food.
Food, yeah. Okay.
So you're getting subsidized, basically.
Well,
at least you're getting fed. I mean,
it prevents me from having to rob places to eat food.
Well, like I said, but somebody else is paying for it.
right.
It's actually
At least
the
you're not starving.
The cost benefit of EBT is actually less than putting somebody in jail, because to put somebody in jail costs about $35,000 a year.
Or they could just get a fucking job and buy their own food.
Society is that we don't mind spending $35,000 a year. We have 2.6.
That's nice. They're like, well, you pay for my food, or I'm gonna go rob a bank and commit a crime. Like, well, why don't they go out and get a fucking job and pay for their own food?
Well, where are the jobs? There are none.
Bullshit.
I mean, there are jobs, but there are more people than there are jobs.
Maybe you don't need to live in Hollywood if they don't hire out there, Chris. Maybe you need to go live in a more realistic town. I mean, goddamn, you're like a little crybaby, like living in a.
I wish I could.
They don't. Oh, they won't do this for me here. Oh, wah, I can't. Oh, it's the end of the world. I mean, like, come on, dude. I mean,
It's got to be expensive to be in LA.
Yeah.
Well, actually, if you look at the cost-benefit analysis, because LA has excellent public transportation,
You're in LA, though.
He didn't understand that. He goes right over his head.
What's with all the statistics for no reason?
Jump in here, Connor. You had a lot to say about this. Jump in here.
Yeah,
What, are you scared to tell him or something? Get in here. Come on.
Yeah, I watched yesterday's cast, and I was like, literally the whole.
Throw that out of you.
I was like, what the fuck? Because Chris, I agree with what everyone else said yesterday. I think you're full of shit. I think that you're clearly just not making the effort to look for a job. I don't even think you want a job, do you?
No, I do. It's the reason why I came out here. I don't care what you think.
Why don't you spend more energy going to actually look for a job than
well,
making
do you realize how tiring it is to be homeless?
Why did you make that war post?
When you're carrying a backpack and you're sleeping at LAX and it's loud, I mean, that's the reason why I checked back into the hotel for only a day or two. This is the best rest I've gotten in a week, because when you're homeless, you do not sleep. You have no way to bathe.
That gives you motivation to not want to be homeless, right?
Yeah, it's an incentive.
Bill had a question. I was curious where he was going with that. What was your question, Bill? I couldn't hear it.
My question was, if he doesn't really care what we think, why was there the total war post? That makes absolutely no sense.
Well, you listen carefully to what I said. I said total war metaphorically, like on life. Total war on life. I'm a guerrilla warrior of the streets. That's what
I mean, listening to you, it sounds like you threw up the flag of surrender. It doesn't sound like a war even started. It sounded like, hey, I declare war. I'm going to sit down and give up.
See, nobody started it.
That's all I've heard. It's just, I'm going to war, but I'm going to sit down.
I mean, that's the reason why I came to LA, because there's a better concentration of jobs in the entertainment industry. I had directed a few films, and I directed a couple of films. I directed a TV pilot. I had directed a couple of music videos. And so that's the reason why
you did do that.
I directed a couple of films right over there.
Okay. I came here to try to find work. That's why I came here, and I did try, and I have tried.
No, but what's this war thing you're talking about?
Don't go digging in the alley for your gold, like Jackknife.
Jackknife, yeah.
It's a war to survive. It's basically
you made this video today.
It's like
fucking Street Warrior. Street Warrior, right, Chris?
You're constantly tired, like, especially sleeping at LAX. You know, it's loud. There's always announcements every 5 minutes, and you.
Well, no,
you
what I'm questioning is you made this video about war, right? But who are you going to war with? Because I saw some comments on there and some things. You're going to war with the Bible.
Have you thought about
survival?
No, but okay. Let me say something for a second here. I saw your video, right? And I'm like, I was kind of confused because you labeled this show. You were on the Whovians podcast, which has not been around for years. So that's not my show. And then you said the Anything show. We don't have the Anything show. So I was joking about it. So I was kind of confused because the only show I know of that you were on was our show. But then I'm saying to myself, well, he's on every day, so he's not thinking that we're the enemy. He's going to war with us because, like, we're friends who are on every day.
I never admit. I was talking about you go to war with you. I was talking about war with survival.
But you said we attacked you, though.
Really battle to survive.
Didn't you put that in the description that we attacked you?
What?
Didn't you put it in the description that we attacked you?
Hold on.
And what the fuck's this war against survival all about?
Yeah, because I was a little annoyed, but I wasn't mad because I'm like, I don't think he knows what the hell he was saying in it.
Got more living to do.
I'll be right back.
You do your thing, I do mine.
I said in the description, this is my life, my struggle on the streets, and about attacks against myself, and on the Anything podcast. Yeah. I was just venting. I vent. That's what I do in my video blog.
You need to read Dr. Long's book.
Yeah.
But you're venting, you're venting because you're mad with us?
Well, I'm venting. I'm venting at the basic struggle of life. I feel like people saying
because I always give someone a voice.
Chris, you need
to
Chris,
they like me or they don't like me. I never silence anybody. Yeah. So if you made a video like a hate video against me, you're on here obviously today, which I didn't think you were serious with that.
I didn't make a hate video against you.
Okay. But you're mad. Why are you mad? What's the anger coming from?
Annoyed. I feel like I was miscategorized.
You have the opportunity now.
It's hard. He needs to accept Jesus.
But wait, Chris. If you have a problem with me, right? You could always send me a message. Hey, I was not happy with what happened last night. I want to do another cast tonight. And I would always say, right, my idea would never tell anybody, no, we're not. I would always make time.
I'm also talking about, if you look in the context of the whole rant, which is only 4.5 minutes long, I'm also talking about the war with survival. It's a daily battle. It's a war to survive.
War against fucking survival? It's like a dramatization of a fucking...
It's not an actual war. It's a metaphor.
Okay, guys.
This is dramatic.
This is my happy sauce.
Kraken. Rum, yeah.
Anything the Kraken.
Yeah, but Chris, you use the term beautiful chaos. It seems like it seems a little dark, like you're embracing the chaos, like you're not looking for conformity.
I also talk about how I believe I have a theory about personality, and I think it's inherently genetic.
You're a chaos generator.
There are people who are chaos generators and people who are order generators, and some people are in between, and I believe I'm a chaos generator. Because I've had this problem my whole life.
Well, you got that right.
I call it anti-charisma. I have a talent for pissing people off without even trying.
Well,
no,
Well, exactly. Just like I pissed you off, apparently, Connor.
Oh. Okay.
Connor just thinks that you're unmotivated. He's not mad at you.
He's not mad.
I'm not mad.
After years of looking for work and not finding it, I've decided this.
You make it sound like you're Kunta Kinte from Bruce.
I do. I also collect bottles for extra money. And
What's
take it
wrong
to
with that? What's wrong with that? You probably get like $100, $200 a week or more.
No, I get like $6 a week.
And you're not collecting the right bottles, or maybe because you're in LA, because
No,
if you were in New York, you could probably make a couple $100 a week.
There's over 250,000 homeless. Often when I go to collect bottles, I'll see 200 homeless people doing the same thing. There's a lot of competition for those bottles. It's hard to
Just
find.
jack them over the head and grab their stash.
All right.
Well, some homeless people do. That's why it's dangerous to sleep on the street.
Yeah, welcome to the jungle, baby.
Cannibalize the
Bring you
homeless.
down.
Well, metaphorically cannibalize. What I mean by that is they become predator. They get into predator mode. They attack other homeless.
This sounds like a John Carpenter movie,
Well,
like Being Live or
that's
something.
because we great apes do this. We prey upon the weak in order to keep ourselves strong.
Yeah, you don't have to be the strongest or the fastest, just don't be the
We are,
slowest.
in a lot of ways, still like our ape ancestors. We're still apes competing for social hierarchy. Sadly.
Well, we have a social hierarchy, as do all apes. That doesn't mean that we don't prey upon our own kind. That'll always be human nature.
Well, it's the Gene Roddenberry philosophy. That's where that comes in.
Well, Gene Roddenberry also seems to think that communism would be a paradise, and my family were put to the wall with machine guns by communism, so Gene Roddenberry was full of crap. Nice guy.
Gene Roddenberry wasn't pushing for communism. He was pushing for the pursuit of knowledge as opposed to the pursuit of wealth. You could still have wealth, and you could still have the Ferengi, but they're an outside force.
We have a society like what Gene Roddenberry thought would happen. You would have to execute all dissenters. You would have to decide that people do not have the right to property. You cannot wake up and have a magic happy utopia. Utopia actually means no place, the real meaning of the word. And every time that people have tried to make a utopia, it has been over the dead bodies of those that resist, and it will always be that way.
And I will also quote Carl Sagan on this matter. Every time that you have the unfettered pursuit of wealth, it's always led to destructive civilizations. I mean, that's what happened with the Greeks. That's what happened with the Romans. You know, when you get too greedy and you become all consumed with the pursuit of wealth, the Roman Empire went into decline because they had 75% unemployment. And the reason the United States has about 36%, but that's including retirees. But the Roman Empire had 75% unemployment because all the good jobs were taken up by slaves that got paid nothing. And it was largely free. What?
If you know so much about history, why don't you go become a teacher?
He's a big history buff.
And as much as I like to talk, honestly, that's a good idea.
I dated a teacher in 2011. She lived in poverty, couldn't afford to fix her car. She was making $2,000 a month, and that sounds like a lot of money. $2,000 a month.
More than
1 month you need to. No, that's
but
all
here's
she
the thing. She worked at her passion. You're only talking about it. Do it.
Well, I don't qualify to be a teacher.
You have to make yourself qualify. Nobody just automatically does. It's
Oh, no, there's no way. I don't have the money to qualify to be a
You
teacher.
have the strength of character to do it. You just need to stop defeating yourself and get out there and do it.
Teachers don't get paid. They
More
get paid very
times than you
little.
understand.
They get paid. If you count all the hours that teachers work, they work.
I'm just
80 to
hearing
90
excuses
they
to
get
do
paid
nothing.
less than minimum wage.
Okay.
They get paid.
Here, listen to me. You know what I'm hearing? And don't take this the wrong way, please. Okay? Every time something comes up where you're like, why aren't you a teacher? Why don't you work in retail? Why don't you work at this? You have a statistic for a statistic.
It's an excuse, Joe. It's a mechanism.
You have a you research so much. You research so much statistics. But you know what the problem is? You're hiding behind your statistics. Okay? Why don't you challenge? Why don't you challenge your statistics? Why don't you actually go against your statistics and try to get a job and prove yourself wrong?
Well, in order to be a teacher, you have to have a bachelor's degree, which I do not have, and you got to get a teaching certificate, which takes 2 years.
And
you
if
got to
you
have money
get that,
while you're waiting on
there
your
are
teaching
programs
certificate. You got
for
to have money to support yourself while you.
you're
You
not
can get a job in the food industry. You can get a job overnight packing out. merchandise. You can get a job in the comic book store. You can get a job at the convention center, being a fucking security guard at the freaking convention center. You know people. If you really want to get a job, you know people at those conventions where you know people at the conventions. You know people at the conventions where you can say, hey, can I make a little money? Can I be security? Can I guard this cosplayer? Can I do this? Can I do that? You can do that. You know people in the convention.
I've tried. Trust me. Why do you think I go to the conventions? I go mostly for business. I go partly for fun, but mostly for business.
Why don't you write articles for magazines for the convention and sell it as a freelancer?
As what?
As a freelance writer? Like, I was at this convention.
I already did that on Tumblr.
Welcome.
What? What did you say?
I have a Tumblr tied in with my Facebook and my YouTube. I'm an expert on social media. I mean, that's how I...
Forget about social media. Social media, you don't make money from social media. So why don't you go to a magazine and sell the article instead of put it on Facebook? You've tried.
Yeah, I worked for a magazine last month. Didn't get paid squat.
Why?
My labor went because if you look at scamguard.com, I look for say.com.
Excuse me.
They hire photographers that don't pay them. They hire models.
Forget about that.
Joe?
There's a lot of scam artists out there, and I got scammed.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Joe,
I got excited because I thought I had this
so that I can talk for a second.
Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Okay, what I was trying to say is I really appreciate the invite, and I'd love to get back on here, but at this point, this discussion is just a whole bunch of excuses to do nothing, and it's really bringing down my mood, so I'll pop back in.
Yeah, I'm actually getting depressed just talking about this stuff.
So
that's
fine.
We're actually going to end this cast.
Okay.
I've heard that. This is pathetic.
Yeah, we're going to just end this, and we're going to make a decision on what we're going to do next. All right, thank you. Take care. Bye for now.